News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We're going to win. We are going to win. One of my colleagues saying, please give me some good news. I am terrified of a Kamala win. Listen, we're going to win, but it's not because of our emotions. It's not because we have blinders on. It is because of the truth. And the truth is that there's many different things I'll share with you, but the truth is that Trump is going to win Pennsylvania. He's going to win Georgia. He's going to win North Carolina. He's going to win Arizona. I don't necessarily know if he's going to win Nevada. I think there's a good chance of Wisconsin, but I just don't know. So we'll call it a 50-50. Michigan, I think it's more like 45-50 that he will win, not win. But hey, we'll see. The other thing is, I've been looking for a way to word it to you about how we're going to win, how much. By the way, one of the most viral segments I've ever done on Facebook was last night doing my research for the show and telling you why he's going to win. And it's got thousands of views and in less than 24 hours because it's a bold statement. But today I'm even stronger that he's going to win. And it's based on gathering. Now, look, Kamala in the last 48 hours is closing stronger than Trump is. Some of the unforced errors that you're used to with him, but it's a done deal. I believe pollster Mark Penn, the famed 13-year veteran Clinton pollster, is right when he said the election was pretty much decided 2 weeks ago, in his opinion. And he said again today, like he did like 3, 4, 5 days ago, I'd rather be Trump than Kamala tonight. And then you have a guy who I really love. I hadn't seen him for a while. He's back on the scene. Alex Castellanos, a light Republican, certainly not a big Trump fan, I think. But he is really, really good at what he does, in my opinion. And he was on Fox today, and he literally said there's a hidden Trump voter, and it's not what you've been told about. It's nothing that you've been told about. Now, every one of these little things I give you are little granules. When you put them together, it's an obvious Trump win. But I wanted to say Kellyanne Conway finally said it. She gave me the word I've been using, because I said a solid win. Okay? I forget the exact word, but she said a smaller landslide, something of that nature, a small landslide. And I think that's what we're going to get. I think we're going to get 300 or more electoral college votes, and I think we have a good chance of winning the popular vote this time. Now, the popular vote, I don't care about, truthfully. I just want to win. That's a Democrat thing, but they're going to be spanked so hard. This woman has tried to do something, and she's failed. It's the reason why she failed miserably when she ran for president in 2020. There is nothing there. I'm going to be playing you a soundbite, or I'm going to be telling you about a story of a TikTok influencer who scored an interview with her, but it was so bad, and he's a Muslim, and he doesn't hide that. You know what I mean? His podcast, I guess it's part of his identity, his podcast and everything, a proud Muslim. And her handler said, you are not allowed to ask any questions about Gaza and all this stuff. When he interviewed her, it was about anchovies and pizza. Totally inane and vapid. He literally said it was so boring and so bad, he chose not to air it. He chose not to air it. That's how bad she is. And that's exactly who she is. And the other thing is, people do not want 4 more years. This woman is in charge, second in command of an administration that has a 70% disapproval rating. This country has a 70%, she and Joe have a 70% disapproval rating. 70% of Americans say we are on the wrong track. We are not on the right track. And they never want to have another 4 years of this. And she has made it clear in her interviews, including overtly saying twice, no, there's nothing I can think of that would be differently than Joe Biden does. She is the 4th term of former President Barack Hussein Obama and his wife or husband, Michael Hussein Obama. And so that's all this is. And Barack, I got to go to the bathroom. Let me use this latrine over here. I'll be right back. So, just go in the bushes. Come on. We got to go here. We got to go. Little jokes. I have so much more to share with you throughout the night, but right now I'm going to put it out to you. Who do you think this election will win this election? Who do you think will win this election and who will lose? And why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Who do you think will win this election and why? So there's more granular that I got to get. Alex Castellanos said it best with this today as one of the many granules that all show she's going to lose solidly. If she's lucky, she'll win one or two of the blue wall states. She will not win Pennsylvania, in my opinion. Here we go.
Somebody is missing something. What I think they're missing is a massive shift in voter registration underneath all of this. 31 states have voter registration by party. 30 of them in the past 4 years have seen movement toward Republicans. Somewhere, somebody is missing something. I think I'm not going to call it a wave, but I think there's a wavelet out there of Republican enthusiasm and registration. If I register to vote Republican, whether I'm switching or new, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? And obviously, you're going to vote Republican or not vote. Here's another thing they're seeing. In 2016 and 2020, a lot of people didn't vote. Those people are voting now. They are voting. They're seeing a large chunk or a solid chunk of people that have never voted in 2016 or 2020 vote now. And it's mostly pro-Trump voters coming out and doing it. Second of all, Philadelphia and the city of Philadelphia is so far behind in the black vote. In fact, that they are, according to former Philadelphia Mayor Michael Nutter and other Democrats and analysts in Fox and all over the place, they are 6,000 plus votes shy. They must come up with 600 plus votes in heavily urban Philadelphia that they have not gotten at this time. They are extremely shy of what they need to freaking win. The numbers on black men and black people are depressed. They're solidly depressed. Not a little bit. They're depressed a good amount in Philadelphia, in Georgia, and in North Carolina. Georgia, North Carolina, heavily black states. They are much lower. The African American community is not motivated to vote for this woman, just like they were not at all motivated to vote for her when she ran in 2020, which is why she dropped out in the insanely heavily black state of South Carolina. So there's more, but we'll take some of your calls at 800-288-WBAP. 4 lines open, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. We'll pop you on right away. Trey in Duncanville, WBAP.
It's a wrap. Democrats are not going to win this. Trump will win a landslide, like I told you from the very beginning.
Not a landslide, a small landslide.
I will beg to differ.
Okay.
Because the economy has been ruined. It started day one when Biden signed an executive order to kill the Keystone Pipeline. It's been gone downhill ever since.
Well, Kamala was the casting tie vote in 3 instances of spending $2.5 to $3.5 trillion, destroying this economy with inflation. Continue, sir.
I agree with you, but I'm saying Biden got the ball rolling on day one when he signed that executive order.
Yes, true.
Keystone Pipeline. I think all these EV mandates, they're crippling the car industry.
Yes.
I know several people that work in the industry. They're very mortified what's about coming down the pike if we get Kamala. And as I told you, they've exposed themselves or who they really are. Joe Biden is a demented old man.
That's irrelevant. What's really important is they do not want 4 more years of this, and she is 4 more years of this. They don't want it.
I was also going to say she's exposed herself to the venomous, vicious viper she really is. Like I said, that was evidence of the Brett Kavanaugh meltdown. And people do not like meanness under any and all circumstances.
Well, if they don't like meanness, Trump will not win. Under all circumstances, I'm going to quote you, under all circumstances, people don't like meanness. Let me tell you something. People think massively that Trump is a lot meaner than she is. So if that's it, we're losing. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I was going to say he's strong. He can be mean, but he's strong. She's just mean-spirited and evil. And I just think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, just like Hillary did.
I think what rubs them the wrong way, and I appreciate your call, Trey. Thank you, sir. I think what rubs them the wrong way is somebody who can't answer questions and dodges them. Somebody who refuses to say whether they would vote for. She just voted in California, and they were asked, "Hey, are you for this new proposition that would crack down on criminals and give them stiffer sentences?" After you voted, and you told us you voted, here's what she said.
Darlene, Madam Vice President, have you returned the ballot to California, and how did you vote on Prop 36?
So my ballot is on its way to California, and I'm going to trust the system that it will arrive there. And I am not going to talk about the vote on that because, honestly, it's the Sunday before the election, and I don't intend to create an endorsement one way or another around it. So, but I did vote.
I don't have a position on crime and cracking down on it. So there you go. That's who she is. That's why she is there's no sale to close. She won't tell you how she feels. And it's because she doesn't want you to know how she really feels. Now, coming up next on the Chris Krok Show, I'm going to be sharing with you two things that are they're two more little granules to add to the pile that shows that Trump's going to win solidly tomorrow night. And another one is two top Obama staffers, former Obama staffers, including Obama's campaign manager and another guy. If I say his name, you'll know exactly who it is. And they both have said things that I agree with that are not good for Kamala's chances. That is coming up next on the Chris Krok Show. Plus your call. Lines are wide open again. 5 lines open. Chiming right now, asking you, who do you think will win this election tomorrow and who will lose? Why will that happen? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to give you more details on why we're going to win tomorrow. That's coming up on the Chris Krok Show at 8:18 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Let's vote. Let's get out the 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 vote. Let's
win. Let's hear what former Clinton pollster Mark Penn says today.
Well, I'd rather be Trump this evening for the simple reason that there are lots and lots of polls that show it dead even. The only fact we know is that the Republicans have done a lot better in the mail-in and early voting than they ever have. And I believe that they were losing 1 to 2 points in voters who never showed on Election Day who supported them.
Okay, and this is official now. I just retweeted it. Joe Rogan tweeted out, let's see here. Rogan tweeted out 34 minutes ago his official endorsement of Donald J. Trump. The great and powerful, and you can retweet it. It's on my Twitter feed. You should always follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Same handle on all three, at Chris Krok Show. That's at Chris Krok Show, CHRISKROK. Joe Rogan 34 minutes ago tweeted this from his Twitter account, his official Twitter account. The great and powerful Elon Musk. He interviewed him today. If it wasn't for him, we'd be effed. Full word. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. That's what he sent to. It's already gotten 3.6 million views from his tweet 34 minutes ago. That is a devastating nail in the coffin for the bro vote for Kamala, which contributes to one of the many little granulars that pile up into a Trump win tomorrow, which I believe will be a small landslide. That's what I think Kellyanne Conway said tonight. And that's exactly the words I was trying to come up with. I was telling you a solid win for a week or so now that he was going to win. So my question for you is, why? Who do you think will win this election and why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. CNN's CNN's Harry Ensign, their chief pollster, says it's an even tighter race than Gore versus Bush. Any chance, and there's a chance the winner will get a blowout, getting over 300 electoral votes. I do contend that that's what Trump's going to get, 300 or more. Why? Because in the swing states, they are all Kamala and Trump within 1 point. Here's the thing. The so-called... and let me play Van Jones's remarks that are going to also... They're added to this pile of granulars that show how Trump is going to win tomorrow. And the lines are wide open for you as well at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Who do you think will win this election and why? But here's Van Jones as well. Two different ones why he is worried about Philadelphia, as I mentioned to you, the black vote, and he is very worried also in general.
I'm worried. Philadelphia is where we've got to run up a big margin. But Philly overall has been trending down, not in terms of going toward the Republicans, just people not getting out to vote. And so you got people out there like Pastor Carl Day, who's got a bunch of young men with him, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out. It's a bigger, tougher fight in Philly to get that vote count up than it has been in the past. That has me worried. The other thing that has me worried is that the Jewish vote in the suburban areas, Biden won the Jewish vote by 70%, 70-30 last time. Some polls show Kamala at 50-50. That is 70,000 votes we've bled away. That is the margin for victory.
And that's not gonna change tomorrow on the vote day by much. Here's the other thing. You talk about the Jewish vote. I saw a woman who, by all intents and purposes, looking at her, watching her, the way she looked, dressed, and everything, she looks like a classic, extremely liberal Philadelphia woman. She happens to be Jewish. She said so in the interview, and she was on a panel of independent people about 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, maybe even 5, 6 weeks ago. And I played it on the air. I was blown away. She is voting for Trump. She's a one-issue voter. It's Israel. And the Israelis, if you want to have any question about who the Jewish people stand with and who the Jewish people think will protect them the most, it is Donald J. Trump in a brand new poll that came out from Israel. Its biggest television news network just did a poll. And in fact, it shows that Trump is favored by 60% of Israelis say they prefer Trump over 17%. It's nearly 4-1. The Israeli citizens, 4-1, say Trump, 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 fight, fight, fight. We want him to protect us. They ain't stupid. They're not blind loyalists. They are now saying we're not going to vote that way. We don't want the liberal Democrat who will throw us to the wolves and let our existence be threatened and maybe even wiped out in their tenure. And that is a Kamala Harris. There's more. Let's play another cut from Van Jones, why he's worried as well. He's a CNN contributor and was a former member of former President Barack Hussein Obama's, not cabinet, but he was a top advisor.
I don't think people understand. Working people sometimes have to choose. Am I going to go to the big, cool concert this week and pay for babysitting for that? Or am I going to try to figure out a way to get to the polls? I don't like these big star-studded events. In fact, probably helped us lose last time. I don't want people going to concerts. I want people knocking on doors. I want people out there fighting for this thing. I'm just nervous.
You can have an amazing ground game like the Democrats have and have a horrible candidate and a horrible economy that candidate's a part of, and you will have a disaster. And that's what they have on their shoes, their feet. I think they're going to lose by a wider margin than when Trump won last time in Pennsylvania, solidly. Now, coming up next, I'm going to tell you exactly how bad the food price and inflation is on Philadelphians and Pennsylvanians. It is really bad. They're at one of the worst. Also, he mentioned a moment ago, Van mentioned Kamala's celebrities. There's a whole bunch that are joining tomorrow night, and I'm going to draw that contrast between celebrities and the everyman person and the every woman person of Trump. And it's going to be another reason why he's going to win tomorrow. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Who do you think will win this election and why? 800-288-9227. The information on inflation in the most important place in Philadelphia, and the information on people are going to vote for what's going to move them which way. And one of them is going to be emotional, the other one's going to be fundamental. That's next. I'll share that with you as well at 33 after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number.
Because it reminds me so much of 2016, and I think there are a lot of similarities right now between this campaign and that campaign. The divisions in the country were significant back then. People didn't think Trump had a chance back then. He's been gaining and gaining. The momentum, I don't know who's going to win. I can't call it, and nobody should, because statistically and polling and focus groups, it is way too close to call. However, the momentum is clearly, in what I see and what I hear, is in his favor. And so every word, every phrase, every misstep, every gaffe matters as those last remaining persuadables make their decision. I don't believe in the undecided anymore. I don't believe there's undecided.
That was Frank Luntz a few Thursday last week, or it's the same thing though. And it's not going to be a Hillary Clinton win. It's going to be more of a solid win than Hillary Clinton. I do believe not only will Trump win tomorrow, possibly we'll know actually by midnight or 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning that he's the official winner. And then I also believe that it'll be more than 300,000. It'll be 300 or more electoral votes. And he very well likely may win the popular vote too, but I'm not worried about that. Megyn Kelly tonight appearing at a Trump rally, obviously endorsing him. And here's what she said today, opening the rally up with Trump.
When I launched my show 4 years ago, we had Mark Cuban on the program. You may have seen he was in the news this week. And he started going on about how bad America's race history was and how ashamed he was of America. And that's why he was at all these protests. And he felt it was really important to stand up and speak out about human rights violations. And then it got awkward when I asked him about all the money he was taking from China. And then he dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and I thought, I really enjoy this feeling of proving Mark Cuban wrong. And so here I am at a Trump rally, a strong, intelligent woman to prove Mark Cuban wrong again.
And there Trump is smiling, laughing, and everybody's having fun. There's no demonization and vilification like Kamala did. And suddenly, in a tug, she literally, they're not allowed to talk to the PACs at all, no communication. And Dana Perino was remarking on the 5 today on Fox News that her and her PAC, the PAC that supported her, one of the big ones, were communicating through the New York Times in the reporting. Kamala's like, no, we think the vilification is working, and went back to them. They're like, no, we think it's not working. No, we think it is. And so finally, Kamala got the message, yesterday, and today all of a sudden, oh, I'm so awesome! Look below your chair. There's a gift. Oprah's here. That's what's happening tonight. Popra is appearing to bless and give free gifts to everybody. Oh, new car! Do you remember that? They were all like humping her leg and screaming and crying. Their heads were blowing up. There was explosions. I think a few of the ladies' heads blew up. Okay, yeah, like that. And so anyways, this is the celebrity candidate. Kamala Harris is the celebrity candidate who, while people were dying in mudslides, by the dozens, if not well over 100, we now know, 150 maybe in North Carolina, she chose to be with her rich celebrity friends in Hollywood, the celebrities, and she said it feels great to be home as she ate beef Wellington with them at a fundraiser in Los Angeles at the JW Marriott that raised $28 million. Those are her peeps. That's who she relates to. And she has, I'm going to give her some. She's got the celebrity vote. Let's make it obvious. Okay, she's got the celebrity vote. So that's why she's going to have... let's see. Popra, where's my little list? So many different things to read here. Oh, yeah. Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, and Popra tonight in Pittsburgh. Do you think they're going to get you to vote for them? No. Do you think J-Lo crying the other day at the rally in Houston, which is a bizarre location to pick, do you think that anybody is moving their vote to her because of it? No, they can't afford to live. They cannot afford to live. Who do you think is going to win this election, and why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Well, my buddy Eric Erickson in his column today said, with Trump, people make the decision for him based on the fundamentals. Their bank account, their 401k, being able to put food on their family's table. They can't afford to live. And that is the top issue with Philadelphians in Pennsylvania, where the leftist rag, the Politico, reports today this swing state saw some of the country's highest food inflation. By the way, this is News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. Chime in right now. We can pop you right on. There are a few places, the Politico wrote today, in America that have seen food prices spike as dramatically over the past 4 years as Philly. Interviews, more than 30 voters, elected officials, and political operatives found that. A stubborn reality has clouded voters' perceptions of the economy. Yeah, no, it's great. The economy's great. What do you mean? What are you talking about, dude? I can't even keep all my cash in my pocket. I let it fall out. I got so much. Who the heck are you? Do you know, I just read a Wall Street Journal story, which we'll talk about later, that the majority of houses that were bought this past year were the rich people and wealthy people. Did you know that? Of course. Those are Kamala voters. The emotional voters are Kamala voters. Those are the women. Not all women, but some. So that's the difference right there, is emotion versus fundamentals, like food on your table. Voters think Harris is inept, my friend writes, and they have no idea what she really stands for. They know what Trump would do. They just really don't like him. Emotional creatures go with emotion, not reason. That's exactly correct. Going back to Philadelphia and the inflation on why she's going to lose tomorrow, handily. Not horribly, like, oh my gosh, beaten like a redheaded stepchild, but a solid win, or a small landslide, as I think Kellyanne Conway properly described it. So that's kind of a phrase I've been looking for the past week or two when telling you why he's going to win. So they've a stubborn reality who's clouded the voters' perception is the economy in Philadelphia. Food prices in Philly, our area, continue to rise by one of the highest rates in the country. Consumer Affairs found that. Pennsylvania has the highest grocery inflation from 2023, the highest in the country. Kamala noted on a campaign stop, truly, the path of victory runs through Philly and runs through Pennsylvania. I blame here, by the way, this is Rich, not her. Rich, a registered independent voter, told Politico, I blame the president, as in Biden, as he loaded his groceries in a ShopRite parking lot. See, this is where it freaking matters. Lizzo and J-Lo and Lady Gaga aren't standing there with the misery and lameness of you, like you and I do. We go to Walmart around a bunch of losers and such that, as I mentioned, they take the deodorant off the shelf, put it under their arm like a guy I saw. They put it back on there and walk away. Yeah, they're not there. They're not there when you have a bunch of groceries, it's hot or it's cold, whatever, and you're putting them in there and it's just like, oh, this part of my life sucks. It just does. And then when you see the cost and you do your budget every week like I do, and if you don't do it every week, what's wrong with you? You got to get on the stick, baby. And you see you're just making it or you're losing money like it's been for us sometimes. He blames the president. I used to be a Barack Obama voter, he said. I'm completely opposite now. They've changed me. See? That's one voter in Philadelphia. For Pennsylvanians, the pain of inflation has been compounded by the fact that their incomes aren't keeping up. I'm 69 years old, says a woman. I'm still working to make ends meet, says Linda Amode, standing outside a ShopRite. I want to quit, but I can't. While she lives in Philadelphia, she said rising costs have shaped her political outlook. Crime is her top concern. She plans to vote for Trump. In Allentown, Caitlin Young, 26, a mother of two with the third on the way, recounted how she was forced to turn to government assistance in recent years due to the high cost of living. One of a number of issues she cited in her decision to vote for Trump in 2024, as she had in 2020. Actually had to go on food stamps. Said this woman's a registered Democrat. As she loaded her car with groceries from a giant grocery store in Wilds District. That's just so I can make healthy homemade meals every night for my kids. She said she hadn't heard about a plan for Trump to bring down grocery prices, but I hope he does something. It's ridiculous. I know I shouldn't be paying almost $6 for a gallon of milk. So there are 3 different Trump voters that they talk to, and the Politico is a leftist rag that hates Trump. She's going to win. He's going to win tomorrow, guys. It is what it is. And I don't normally put my what on the line like this, but yes, I have been telling you for a week or two now that he's going to win. And every day it gets stronger and stronger with every little granule I pick up and put together in a pile that says Trump's going to win. I'm going to tell you this. You want to know another reason why Trump's going to win tomorrow? Wait till you hear how many jobs were added last month compared to how many illegals crossed the border last month. Isn't that going to be interesting? How many jobs were created last month versus how many illegals came into our country that Kamala says we got to make them citizens and give them benefits and give them free housing, free food? How many? I will tell you about that coming up next. More about the hidden voter, the hidden Trump voter from the Daily Mail today, a columnist there. Oh, guess what else I want to do? I want to share with you the numbers on early voting. Now, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7 swing states have 4 out of 7 swing states actually tell you how many Democrats have early voted versus Republicans. You understand that? And independents. I'm going to give you those numbers. I have them in Pennsylvania, which is the number one. I have those numbers in Arizona, in Nevada, and in North Carolina. I have those numbers. And I'm going to share them with you coming up next on the Chris Krok Show, plus your call. Who do you think is going to win tomorrow and why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. 4 lines open. Chime in right now. We'll get you on right away. And also more information on early voting. This from Fox News that also is very good. What a wild night tonight, you and me. Now, we have 3 lines open, so get in there. We'll have enough time to get you all in on the next segment. But again, you'll hear the early voting, Democrats versus Republicans in 4 out of 7 swing states. The other ones do not share that, so that's why I don't have that. And it's good news for us. It's very good news. That's going to be next on the Chris Krok Show at 47 after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Elon Musk today, shortly before Joe Rogan officially endorsed Trump.
If the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
That is so insane.
This is the final. This is it. This is the last chance.
Has anybody tried to push back?
And I just want to go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does. This is the last chance, man.
All right, so I'm going to replay the beginning because I don't know if you could hear it. I don't know if the music, just to hear Musk in the first couple seconds.
If the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
That is so insane.
All right, that's today, and I'm certainly going to listen to this podcast. I do unequivocally believe we're going to win tomorrow, and it's going to be a small landslide. It's going to be a solid win with it that's not even close to have any issues of 5, 10, 50,000 votes. It's going to be much larger than that, maybe 50 to 100,000 in most states or more. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. If you want to see these clips you're hearing, they're all on my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram accounts at Chris Krok Show. That's at Chris Krok Show, CHRISKROK. Joe Rogan podcast a minute ago saying, good luck, President Trump. The internet is 5th gear pinned the last 2 weeks. Good luck. I don't know what that means. Probably one of his sports sayings, MMA or something. Okay, the early voting is really, really good. First of all, by the way, this is Kamala Joe. This is your life under them, and she says 4 more years of this. Jobs added last month, 12,000. Illegals who crossed the border last month, 57,000. More illegals than jobs. That is your future in this administration. That's why she's going to lose tomorrow. The early voting numbers, wonderful. Arizona, 2.2 million people voted. More Republicans than Democrats. Okay, look at this. 924,000 Republicans versus 736 Democrats. That is massively bad for them. That's a screw job. They're going to lose by like a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 point margin or worse. Nevada, out of 1 million votes cast, Republicans for the first time ever, from what I've been told, ever lead the Democrats by about 44,000 votes. They lead by 44,000 votes in Nevada. The Republicans do. That's insane. 407K to 364K. North Carolina, Republicans lead the Democrats by about, literally, it's so small. They literally by about, 47, 57, 67, 70, by about 34,000 votes. Republican early votes outnumber North Carolina. That is stunning. That I don't think that happens much at all, if ever, honestly. Pennsylvania, 1.7 million early votes cast. Democrats do outnumber. That's very normal. But literally, it is is half the amount the Democrats usually outnumber them by. Half. The margin has gone down in half from their normal lead. Their normal lead is like way the heck. It'd be like 1 million more by now, and it's only about 307,000. 583K Republicans, 990 Dems. Okay, more coming up next, but I want to go to your call first. We have Cindy. Cindy, you are in Arlington on WBAP. Welcome. What's up?
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Hey, I think he's going to win. I'm hoping a lot more than what people think. The reason for me is he's relatable. He listens to the people and what the concerns are. And quite frankly, everyday people like myself, we're tired of spending $70 at the grocery store and we get less than 6 things. Mm-hmm. It's just insane. And a lot of the people I've talked to, and I've been out there trying to convince them this is what we're up against, this is what we're going to have. But at the end of the day, they all say to me, I'm going to feel safer with him leading the country. Mm-hmm. And he brings hope to a lot of people.
Yes.
And when he was at the barber shop in New York, I was struck by the gentleman that said, if you can get the deficit down, do you think you can do away with income tax? And he talked about the early 1900s, how we were so wealthy. And I found that conversation very interesting. I believe he said it was called tariffs, where they didn't have to put taxes. And I think he's a brilliant mind, and I think he's in the best interest, and he's got the best people around him.
Yeah, everything's different now.
He can complete a sentence.
Yeah,
he can complete a sentence and ask questions. And the thing about it is, I will say this, I have very good friends that live in Staten Island. They went to Madison Square Garden. One of them lived there all their lives and seen all kinds of things in New York. He told me the other day on the phone, he sent me photographs and said, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Yeah. The city was electrified.
Yes, I got to roll, but you are a great caller. I got to go, but you are an incredible caller, and I want more, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Linda in Dallas, you have a question for me. You're going to ask that question next. Please don't go anywhere. I apologize. So Linda is the first person out of the box coming up next at 3 minutes after the hour, plus your call, and I've got more. Trump camp confident, Fox News says, based on early voting, while black leaders say Harris is struggling. That's what I've been telling you for weeks. Those details next. Also, what ex-Obama campaign manager Jim Messina says, and it's not good news, and his thoughts on what's going to happen, and more stats that show why he's going to win tomorrow. That's next on the Chris Krok Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number.